Literally got primer on my jumper. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, if you can't tell by the title, we are going to be playing with the new Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette. I am so bloody excited. Okay, so recently Huda launched her new palette. This is the Naughty Nude palette. I'm excited, you guys. Like when I first saw this, I was a bit like, and then I've been watching some people's reviews like Sinem and Makeup with Alix Kate. Been loving their reviews, like honestly. So when I saw their reviews and when I saw Sinem and she said that this palette is the best Huda palette that she's tried, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to test it out for myself. So here we are, we're testing it out today. I'm excited. We're gonna do some swatches and everything. So yes, let's get into it. So Huda's packaging for this one, I do have to say, is quite different. Like usually her palettes have her eyes on the front, like her big parts, I mean, like they have her iconic like eyes in the like at the front of the packaging, and this one doesn't, which is quite different for her because a lot of other ones do. But yes, I don't tend to usually buy her small palettes, but her bigger palettes I usually do. So yeah, so her palette comes in this kind of packaging. It's almost like just like a clear like pinky kind of packaging, if that can make sense, like a reddy burgundy packaging. I'm not gonna lie, I don't usually keep the boxes, just don't feel like I need to. So this is what the packaging looks like. So it has a Naughty Nude on it, if you can kind of see, really nice. On the back it does just say like how many eyeshadows there are, like what kind of finishes they are, that kind of thing. And this is what the inside of the palette looks like. It is very like burgundy, chocolatey browns, like pinky kind of tones. Like it's really nice. There are some unusual finishes in here, like that slippery shade is really unusual. Like I've heard a lot of people say they didn't really like it, so it's probably not going to be a shade that I kind of reach for. There is some like really nice, almost like ombre kind of shades in here, like the swirly kind of shades, which is so interesting. When I first saw this, I thought maybe it looks too similar to the new Nude palette. However, looking at the Nude palette compared with this one, I do think that they are quite different. If you can kind of see, like this one is definitely more like nude, mauvey, pinky tones, whereas this one is more like burgundy, burgundy chocolatey kind of tones, which is nice. So yes. Okay, so now I'm going to dive into some swatches. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so the first row we have here, really nice. This is a really nice like duochrome shade, so pretty. So the first shade we have here is called Filthy. It's like a very light mauvey pink. We then have the next shade, which is called Passion, which is like a purpley pink duochrome. It's purple, or is it like a purpley brown? It could be like a purpley brown actually. We then have the shade Shameless. We then have the shade Please Me. We then have the shade Hypnotic. And we have the shade Hard. Now I actually, when you look at this, like it's like one of them swirly shades. But you kind of like don't expect it to be like fully matte, but it is, but it's so unique and I really love it. So that is the first row swatched. Really like them, they look really nice, swatch fine. Never usually have a problem with Huda shadows anyway, so yeah. We now have the second row. We have the first shade, which is called Untamed. It's a beautiful burgundy shade. We then have the shade Irresistible, which look at that, how stunning is this. We then have the shade Flower Power. This is like such a unique shade. It's one of them swirly shades again. But as you can see, I like picked up more of like the gold on the top, and then the bottom is more like, it's more like a lighter gold, but it's got like pinky like glitter in it, almost like pinky reflects. We then have the shade Rough, then Spicy, then Arouse. Really nice. Again, they swatch beautifully. Okay, moving on to the last row. That top shade is horrible. The slippery shade, which is this shade here, it's disgusting. I know that sounds really horrible to say, but it's like a gloss. It feels like a gloss, like it feels wet. I feel like it's one of them shades which she would probably wanted to use for people who want like a glossy lid look, which, you know, it's nice, but it's not my kind of thing personally. If you like that, then you will probably like that shade. But as you can see, it's literally just wet. I know my friend here on YouTube. She's called Clara Blush Makeup and Beauty. I'll put a little thing up here. She basically uses palette, and she said to me that she used that shade as like a gloss on the lips. So maybe that's what you could do as well if you wanted to. That's the first shade, that's Slippery. Then we have the shade Tantric, which is a really nice gold. We then have the shade Naughty. Then have the shade Provocative. We have the shade Desire. And the last shade we have is Juicy. So all the rest swatch amazingly. I mean, like I said, out of the whole palette, I probably wouldn't use that glossy shade, but again, it's just one of them things. It's like that one shade out of the palette, which is not my favourite. I don't think, even if you bought a palette, the majority of palettes that you buy, there's always going to be a shade in there that you're not going to like. Like for instance, in the Nude palette, like I don't see any point in having the concealer shade down here. Like I don't know who's going to use that. Maybe you will, but I just feel like that is going to dry up so quickly. Mine's dried up already, so I feel like the same is going to happen for this shade. I don't think it's going to stay wet. I feel like it's going to dry up, but we will kind of see, I guess. So the price of this palette is £58, which is hefty. She's like almost the price of a like Natasha Denona palette, you know, the palettes that are like £60. So yeah, she's expensive. However, you do get quite a few shades in here. You do get 18 shades in here, so yeah. Also, by the way guys, you do get 5 different textures in here. I totally forgot to mention. So there's 8 mattes, there's 5 high shine buttery metallics, there's 3 multi-reflective shimmer cream marbles, and then there's 1 matte cream marble, which I think that's like the brownie shade that I swatched. And then we have the 1 pearly gloss hybrid. So yes. So let's go ahead. I'm going to jump straight on into doing a tutorial using this look because I'm excited. So let's get into it. So I've literally just primed my lids and zoomed you guys in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. I'm going to go into the first shade. I'm going to take the shade Untamed. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I want to go for burgundy, kind of like a burgundy kind of look today. So yeah, we're going to take that shade first. I'm excited. Okay, so now I packed that shade on. It looks really nice, very pigmented. I wouldn't expect any less from Huda, to be honest with you. It's like a tiny little bit of fallout, like barely anything. Like, to be honest with you, if you wanted to do your base first, you probably could do. You could probably just pop a little bit of like loose powder underneath your eyes just to catch any fallout. And I think you'd be fine. I'm then going to take the shade Juicy, which is this beautiful shade here. It's a bit more like on the pinky tone side, I would say. I'm just going to take this on like a normal fluffy kind of brush. And I'm going to start to blend around the edges of that first shade that we used. There is that beautiful like light pink shade in this palette, but I didn't want to go straight into that because I feel like it would look a bit harsh. I wanted to like blend this out with another shade first and then go into that shade. These shades are actually so gorgeous, guys. Like, I love Huda's formula anyway. I probably have to say the Mercury Retrograde palette is my favourite palette from her. I really love it. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade Filthy, which is that beautiful light pink shade. like a light mauvey pink shade, and I'm going to blend around the edges of this. I like how in this palette she has included like lighter matte shades. Like she's got like that light pink shade. She's also got like a light beigey kind of shade. So I do appreciate that, but I also do love how there's deeper shades in here as well. So it kind of caters for everyone. Also, by the way, guys, there's quite a bit of kick up in this shade, which it is a lighter shade and I am using a more fluffy brush, so I can understand. In the other shades there's a little bit of kick up as well, but not as much as this one, since there's quite a bit of kick up in this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to build up these shades again, build them up, blend them out like I usually do, and then we'll be back to do the lid shades. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back. Obviously just built it up, blended it out, cut my crease, all that jazz. Now I'm going to do the lid shade. I think I'm going to take the shade Irresistible, which is this beautiful like burgundy pinky tone shade, I think. So yeah, we'll use that. See how it applies with the brush. Doesn't apply too bad. Might apply better with my finger. I'm going to try my finger and see. Yeah, I think it applies much better with your finger. Which is fine, but like getting up to like the top bit, it's like it's not going to be good. But it's a really pretty shade that like, look at it. It's gorgeous. I'm going to try a different brush actually. Usually the brush that I was using, which is this one, the R42, usually this brush applies like every shimmer shade that I need. I'm going to try this one. This is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH42. Sometimes this can apply shades better. I think sometimes the other one can maybe be a bit too dense. I feel like this brush is applying it a lot better, to be honest. Okay, so for the inner corner shade, there's not many like really light shades in here, to be honest with you, like that I would use for an inner corner, but I'm going to try the shade Shameless, this one here. I'm going to try that as an inner corner and see how that works. Sometimes you can be surprised by the shimmer shades that you do use, so we'll try a little bit of this. Okay, that's actually really nice. Just gives the inner corner something a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do this off camera, the rest of my base off camera, that kind of thing, and then we'll be back to talk about the palette and kind of give you guys my final thoughts. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I am back. This is the finished look. What do you guys think? I really like it. Really like it. Really loving it. Just to let you guys know, I did use a similar kind of shades on the lower lash line as I did up top. So I used the shade Untamed, and then I used the shade Filthy, and then I used a little bit of Shameless on the inner portion again. So yeah, using the same kind of shades. What do you think about the look? I really like it. And I've said this before, I keep saying like, I really like it, I really like it. I do really like it. So what do I think about the shades, you guys? What do I think about the palette, that kind of thing? First of all, for the mattes, they blended out really well. I used Untamed, and then I used Juicy, then I used Filthy. So I only used 3, but the 3 I did use, again, built up, blended out like an absolute dream. For the shimmer shade, I obviously used Irresistible. It was quite difficult to apply with the brush that I was using. I could have kept on using it, however, it would have just taken a while to kind of like build up, that kind of thing. You can use your finger, that's fine. Like I said, I don't usually like to use my finger, but I did for today. Still works fine. But then I went in with this brush, which is the Morphe JH42 brush, and this applied the shade really well. So I would probably recommend using a brush like this, so it's not like super dense, it's quite fluffy. Maybe using a brush like that to pick up the shade, because using my dense brush didn't work that great when usually it does. But yeah, I can't speak for obviously all the shimmers because I only used 2, but I used that one on the lid. The inner corner shade, again, that worked really nicely with a fluffy brush. I used this one, which is the MORPHE Extra Hill JH39 brush. That's quite a fluffy, like, inner corner brush. So I'd maybe say use a fluffy brush instead of like a more dense one for the shimmers. But yeah, I really like this. There's only one shade in the whole palette that I wouldn't use, and that is the shade Slippery. I just don't like it. I just don't see the point in it really being in the palette. But other than that, I do recommend it. I have to play with it more because I still have to get like more of a feel for it, that kind of thing. If you want me to do another look using this palette, then of course just let me know, because I will do that for you guys. I'm excited to kind of like play with more of the shades, get more of a feel for the palette, that kind of thing. But yeah, really impressed. I love Huda's formula anyway. I do prefer this packaging. This packaging is like the newer packaging that she's been doing. So it's like the plastic packaging that closed properly. The other packaging that she used to do is like the cardboard packaging. So it literally just like lifts up, but it is magnetic. I kind of feel like with this new packaging, like the plastic packaging, although it's not great for the environment, I just feel like it's more sturdy in this kind of packaging. I feel like I can travel with it, that kind of thing. Again, not like I can go traveling, but yeah. I do highly recommend this palette if you are looking for a new, like, nudie kind of palette. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it would really help me out. Yes, everything else that I'm wearing on my face, I'll of course link in the description box down below in case you guys are interested. And of course, I believe my social media handles above and also in the description box down below in case you want to check me out there. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!